Hotep, hey, this is Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. I'm a talk show host, researcher, lecturer, and writer. So it is Tuesday, December 10th, 2019. How's everybody doing? Hotep. Hey, this is Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. I'm a talk show host, researcher, lecturer, and writer, and historian. So I want to let you all know we have a special promotion going on at the African History Network for African American business owners. A lot of times people ask, how can we advertise with the African History Network on your podcast, etc. So we have a special promotion right now going on for a few days. Email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com. Customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com. Buy 1 month, get 2 months free of advertising with the African History Network. So you may be a book author. You may have an e-commerce store. You may have an online bookstore. Okay. You definitely want to advertise with the African History Network. You may sell African garb or clothing targeting African Americans, etc. You may have a brick and mortar store or an e-commerce store. You may sell shoes, health and beauty products. Health and beauty products are really big with African Americans. You may provide educational services, whether it's homeschooling, educational consulting, whatever it is. If you have an upcoming event or a conference coming up, we know that Kwanzaa celebrations are coming up, but also 2020 is coming up, so a lot of people will have conferences in 2020 targeting African Americans, etc. You may have a restaurant, a catering service. Okay, you definitely want to advertise with the African History Network. So we take your 30-second to 60-second audio commercial, we put into the audio podcast of the broadcast that I do throughout the week, and our Sunday night show, the African History Network show, that I do Sundays 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're on 8 different audio podcast platforms: Castbox, Blog Talk Radio, TuneIn, FM Player, Stitcher. So we have thousands of listeners to the audio podcast each week, thousands of listeners across the country. But also, we help promote your business in the Facebook Live broadcast that I do throughout the week as well. And we broadcast on our Facebook fan page, the African History Network. And I put those broadcasts on on our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP. Okay, so African American business owners, email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com. Customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com. We can let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network. We can get you up and running today. We reach thousands of people across the country on a daily and weekly basis. I've been doing the African History Network show. It will be 10 years in April of 2020. Okay, so I take the audio podcast, upload them to our Blog Talk Radio page, blogtalkradio.com/the African History Network show. We're on 8 different audio podcast platforms, so wherever you get your podcast from, search for the African History Network show. But then we also broadcast on Facebook Live and on our YouTube channel as well, so you get exposure on multiple platforms. So our current promotion, buy 1 month, get 2 months free. Email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com, customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com, and we can help you with that. So sometimes you have, so we have a few spots left. Number one, I just brought on about 2 or 3 new advertisers. Their spots are going to be delayed in starting. So you may be in a situation where you say, well, hey, look, I want to take advantage of this promotion today, but I know that we won't start advertising for a month or 2 months. That's fine. You can lock in your spots today and start advertising in a month or 2 months when you get ready, because I have some clients that have done that recently. Okay, so that's fine. We know that for 2020, people want to get their financial house in order. So if you provide some type of financial services for African Americans, you definitely want to contact us. If you provide services dealing with health and wellness, okay, that's extremely important. We know that education is big, so you may write children's books. You may have conferences dealing with education targeting African American children, or conferences for African American parents who deal with homeschooling, all different types of things like that. Okay, so we reach people on a all across the country on a daily and weekly basis. Email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com, customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com. So if you don't have for the audio podcast, if you don't have a commercial already prepared, you can prepare a 30-second and 60-second audio commercial with non-copywritten music, okay? With non-copywritten music. You can send that to us, or you can send me a script. We can record a commercial for you, okay? Or if you can't put together a script, you can just put together bullet points, and I'll put together something for you as well, okay? And when we do when I do the Facebook Live broadcast, and we highlight different businesses in the Facebook Live broadcast as well, I help promote the business, but I change up the script, I change up the sales pitch each time, okay, and modify it oftentimes based upon our subject matter as well, okay. All right, so we know a lot of people are trying to take their business to the next level in 2020. You're trying to find low-cost ways of advertising. I've been there, okay, and I have a long background in sales and marketing, things like that, going back to probably about 94, okay, so I have a long background in sales, managed a business consulting company for 7 years, degree in business administration with a major in marketing. A lot of people think it's history. No, it's not history. It's in business administration with a major in marketing. I've been studying history since 92, okay, so I understand that. Taught entrepreneurship, helped people start businesses, and when it came to African American businesses, because mainly when I taught entrepreneurship, I was teaching African American business owners. A lot of times they did not allocate money for advertising. And then about 20 years ago, I was working for a radio station here in Detroit selling radio ads, and largely calling on African American owned businesses. And that's one of the ways I got to learn to write ads. And a lot of times I would call on new African American businesses, startups, brick and mortar stores, because we're talking about 20 years ago, so we didn't have like online businesses. 97, 98, 99, Amazon didn't exist. Okay, if I remember correctly, Amazon didn't exist. I think we had eBay back then. But I would notice that I would talk to African American startups, and they say, yeah, we want to advertise. But what advertise was we start making some money. Okay, a lot of them didn't get to that point where they made enough money to advertise because people didn't know that they existed. Okay, so with e-commerce, one of the good things about e-commerce is that it helps to level the playing field, so to speak. So it's cheaper to inform people about your business. It's cheaper to market your business than it was back in the day when you just only had a few outlets, okay? So once again, email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com, customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com, and we'll let you know how you can start advertising with the African History Network today. We can get you up and running and help your business for 2020, help you get some new customers, help you reach those new goals that you have set for your business in 2020, okay? And I also encourage people to read blackenterprise.com. Read blackenterprise.com each day. And if you are a new African American business owner, if you have not taken at least one entrepreneurship class, I would encourage you, I would implore you to do that, because it can save you thousands of dollars, and it can really keep you from going out of business. Okay, you can go to a local community college, you can take an entry-level entrepreneurship class, even if your degree is in business administration, because just having a degree in business administration does not necessarily prepare you to be an entrepreneur. In most of those business schools, they have separate classes that are designed for entrepreneurs. It's a different type of mentality. You're going to learn different information than you will just in the regular business classes, organizational management, finance classes, marketing, things like that. Are there certain things that you learn in those classes that you can use in your own business? Sure. But, you know, when you deal with organizational management, right? We deal with CEOs, chief executive officers, right? CEOs. But when you are an entrepreneur, you're a CEO, you're the chief everything officer. The buck stops with you. Everything relies on you. So it's a different mentality being an entrepreneur. Even if you're in a partnership, if you have a small corporation, you have partners and you didn't have a general manager, things like that, it's still a different mentality. So if you take at least one small business entrepreneurship class, you can go to a local community college. The credit hours at a community college are relatively cheap. It will literally save you thousands of lost dollars and lost productivity, lost sales, could keep you from going out of business, could keep you from going bankrupt. Okay, I've seen it happen before. And one of the mistakes people make is they think, so if say you sell, say you have a bakery, and maybe you worked in the bakery industry for years, and you bake the best cakes in the world, right? And then you open up your own bakery. Just because you are an expert at baking does not mean you can manage a business, especially own a business. It's two entirely different risk levels. It's two entirely different mindsets. So a lot of times people have the skill set to do the job, or they have the trade or something like that, but they don't have the mindset and the knowledge to actually own and not just manage the business from day to day, but actually own the business and plan, understand cash flow management, be able to do yearly projections, okay, understand proper inventory management for different seasons, okay, and the type of products that you need to have for the winter season are different than the type of products you need to have for the summer, and being able to project a year in advance and things like this. Okay, being able to manage a staff, being able to manage employees, conflict management between employees. Because I used to manage a Radio Shack for 5 years, so I've been through all that also. Even before managing a business consulting company for 7 years, managed a Radio Shack for 5 years. That was a horror story right there, you know. So, but you know, these are all things that you learn, right, in business. And the other thing that I encourage people to do, encourage African American entrepreneurs to do, is to also invest in yourself, invest in your education. So that means going to seminars. That means I still have books on tape when I was in business to business sales, and I was outside. You know, I was a business account executive, and I'm selling to CEOs and CFOs and chief operating officers and things like this, you know, and I'm making sales calls. I'm driving around making sales calls. You know, I'm listening to books on tape. I'm listening to Zig Ziglar and Tom Hopkins and Les Brown and Brian Tracy. I'm listening to gurus of sales. You know, I'm listening to Harvey McKay, Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten. I'm listening to things like the founder of Black Enterprise. He had the book Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? Well, no, that's he had the other book, but the founder of Black Enterprise, okay, Earl Graves. Listen to his book on tape. Then you have the other book, Why Should White Guys Have All the Fun? You have all different types of sales books. You know, I invested, and I still have those things. And I not just listen to, I didn't just read and listen to books from African Americans, also successful white people as well, like Jack Welch, the former CEO of General Electric, okay, Rick Pitino, the former NCAA basketball championship coach, okay, listen to his book. He put out a book. All successful people. I studied successful people as well, okay. So these are just tips that you learn in business and learn from successful business people. Okay, I study successful business people. So, you know, I'm out making sales calls, I'm out in the field. These are things I'm listening to in the car. All right, and so I can stay in that, you know, that business mindset throughout the day. All right. So once again, yeah, why should white guys have all the fun? Reginald Lewis, right? Who was brilliant. Reginald Lewis was a brilliant businessman. He did that leverage buyout of TLC Beatrice, almost $1 billion. I remember reading about him in Black Enterprise magazine. Okay, Reginald Lewis. All right, so once again, email us at customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com, customerservice@africanhistorynetwork.com, and we can let you know how you can advertise with the African History Network. Current promotion, buy 1 month, get 1 month free. All right, so remember, at the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right knowledge corrects wrong behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with is based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. Remember, right knowledge corrects wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And we'll talk to you next time. Peace.